Hello my YouTube family, I am back with another video. Today is going to be story time. I'm going to be talking about my adoption journey.
This could be good for me. Lately I was feeling like I need a purpose.
To refresh you guys on my 5 adopted kids, I think I'm gonna speak on my first 4 adopted kids because they are all from my sister, which is their birth mom. And then for my 5th adopted child, I will tackle that on a different video for a different time. But first and foremost, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to this YouTube channel, guys. Please support your girl. Don't forget to hit that notification button so you guys won't miss out on any of my videos. And also leave a comment down below, like the video. If at any point along the video you're like, you know what, I like her, make sure you let me know by just hitting that like button. It takes literally a second. So let's get into this video. So I am the youngest of 5, right? One of my sisters, obviously she's older than me, she, was born with mental illness and all of these other diagnoses, okay? My mom typically did a good job keeping her inside of the house, keeping her safe, because we lived in a bad neighborhood. And, my sister's very gorgeous and all the guys wanted her. Basically, I'm going to put it to be blunt, So my mom was very good at keeping her safe and, keeping her out of trouble. So something had happened. I was 13 when I no longer lived with my biological mother. That's another long story. I was 13 when I no longer lived with my biological mother. I went to go live with an older sister of mine, a different sister of mine. And my sister, which is 4 of my kids' biological mom, stayed with my mom, because my mom takes care of her or whatever. Something had happened where, my mom went away for a year. And she could no longer take care of my sister. So my sister came to live with me and my other sister. I'm trying to say this without giving out names, so I'm sorry if it sounds confusing. Just for privacy purposes. So she came to live with me and my other sister and my brother. My brother lived with me too. So basically after that, after my mom went away for a year, my older sister tried to take care of her, but things just went a whole different other way. My sister went through this path. Basically, the streets took over her. My mom was no longer there to keep her in the home and keep her safe, so the streets took over her, and she started doing things she wasn't supposed to, and that's when she started getting pregnant. I was 16 when my sister had her first child, and they took her first child away. I remember it like it was yesterday. It still hits me like it was yesterday. Even though I have my own past and my own history, I really, in a way, wasn't, raised with family. Having that happen and feeling like my family was being more broken apart, it really hit me, I wanted to take that child in. I wanted someone in the family to take that child in, but no one did. So that child went into the foster care system. I couldn't do much. I was 16, and I'm not sure if you guys know, I was in the foster care system myself. And if you guys want to know, if you guys want a story time on that, let me know down below, and I'll make a whole video on when and why and how I got into the foster care system and what was my experience. Let me know if you guys want me to share that with you guys. Then my sister had a second child, a boy. I was still in the foster care system. I don't remember how old I was. I must have been like 17 or 18. I wanted that child, so I actually visited that child in the DCF office. I did express to them that I wanted to take that child in, like, what can I do? And I was in the system myself. I believe I had my own place, but through the system, you know. And I had a social worker, and my social worker was like, it's not a good idea. You're young, you're in college, you know, you're just starting your life. You don't want to do this. It's going to change your life. I'm like, okay. That child went to, actually, they gave my sister a chance to take that child, and she did, and it did not end up well. They ended up taking that child away. I think she must have only had him for a month or so, you know? She must have had him for like a few months, and then they ended up taking that child away as well. I was never sure. I didn't know who the first two went with, but I know that with my sister's first child, she went with some Spanish lady. Something happened where she had an emergency, had to move to PR, but couldn't take the baby with her. So someone else took the baby, and that person ended up adopting her and adopting my sister's second child as well, which is a good thing because they're together. So that's good. So for my sister's third child, again, at this point, whatever kid my sister was going to have, the system was going to take that child away. So for my sister's third child, I remember I had my own place still. I was working 2 jobs, going to school. I was in college. Also wanted to take that child in. I'm not sure if I was able to take that child in, even if I was old enough, just because I was still in the system myself. So let me see. By the third child, I was what? I must have been like 19. Okay, so I felt comfortable though, because the child was going with a family member on the paternal side. So they was very reassuring that I was still gonna have contact with that child, that, you know, I was to be part of that child's life. It's gonna be an open adoption. So, you know, I felt good for that adoption, you know, letting that one go. So for my sister's fourth child, again, I wanted to take that child in, but I was still in the system. And at that point, I think I had finished school and I was working 2 jobs. Like, I've always had a couple jobs. And again, my social worker was like, Juana, no, it's life-changing. Don't do it. Like, she was always telling me not to do it. So I didn't do it. Plus, I kind of felt defeated. I felt like I didn't have a choice. I didn't know if I could have. I was still in the system, like, you know, and then my social worker telling me it's life-changing. You know, you don't have no kids, you're single, da-da-da-da. So I'm like, okay. And also the third adoption, my sister's third child, also an open adoption. Forgot to mention that. And my sister's first 2 kids that got adopted together, closed adoption, okay? Closed adoption. All right. So here comes child number 5, which is the child I took in, which is my first kid. You know, I was out of the system. I had 2 jobs. I had my own place. I had no social worker to talk me out of it. I was on my own. And I said, I'm stepping in. There's nothing that can stop me. Like, I'm done with the system. I've aged out. You know, I'm working. I'm doing good. I have money saved. I have my own place. So I said, I am stepping in and I'm taking this child. And that's exactly what I did. I was 24. I was 24 years old. But the down part about that is that I couldn't take that child in right away, like when my sister had her in the hospital, because I wasn't licensed. I had to go through classes. I had to buy a crib. I had to get ready. It was like a whole process. So it took me 3 months to get ready. Mind you, she had to go to like a regular foster home. I was devastated. Listen, let me tell you, I think I like cried every night. I was desperate. My anxiety was off the walls. Like, but I did what I had to do. I didn't give up. And I think I felt like I was being tested, because now I still had workers telling me, like, are you sure? You know, you're young, you don't have any kids, and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yes, I'm sure. Just tell me what I need to do, you know? Like, you're not going to talk me out of this. I'm grown. I have my own place. I work, you know, I have money. There's no one that's going to talk me out of doing this. So the 3 months passed. I did what I had to do. I was prepared. Throughout the 3 months, I visited with my daughter, Dnasia, and I built a bond with her. I built a relationship with the foster parents she had. So it was good, you know, like I was still able to see her. So I remember when it was ready for me to have her, when that day came and they brought her to my house, or my apartment at the time. They was like emotional too, mind you, because they wanted to adopt her. They was hoping that no one in the family was gonna step in, you know, but I stepped in and they were like heartbroken. But I said, you know, you guys can still see her. Like, I'm okay with that, you know? So they kept it short when they dropped her off, you know? So when they left, she was in my living room and she was still in the car seat. And I will never forget this feeling, because I was scared. I was scared like I've never been scared before. Staring at this little baby girl in a car seat, and I remember her cheeks were so fat and her eyes were so big, and she was just staring at me. And I think I stared at her. We kind of stared at each other for like a few minutes before I took her out, because I wasn't ready. After the staring competition, I finally took her out, and I was happy. I felt like a mom right away, you know. I hugged her, I kissed her, I cried. It was a beautiful moment, you know, to finally be able to have stepped in and keep my family together, you know. And it's crazy. She's 10, guys. I can't even. I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for that. But anyways, back to my story. All right, then my sister had child number 6. And obviously, I took that child in, and it was a total different experience, let me tell you. Because I got him straight from the hospital. He was teeny tiny. Jaden was like so little. It was insane how small he was. He wasn't a preemie or anything. He was just so little. And obviously compared to Dnasia came to me when she was 3 months. Jaden was so small. I forgot to mention, I was there for Dnasia's birth, and I was also there for Jaden's birth. So I picked him up from the hospital, brought him home. Dnasia kind of stared at him a little bit like, you know, where did this baby come from? But I took him and brought him home, and it was just like natural, you know, things fell into place so normally. Adoption takes, I think, a year. It took me a year to adopt the kids, because they kind of want to give the birth parents a year to kind of, to see if they're gonna try to fight for their rights or fight to get their kids back. So I think that's more to be fair, you know. But I know in my case, they were not gonna go back to my sister. But anyways, it still takes about a year. So I think it took like a year for me to adopt Dnasia, then a year for me to adopt Jaden. So I adopted Jaden, and it was just great. Then my sister had her child number 7. Let me tell you, I didn't know that this was gonna keep happening. It's like, okay, I knew she had 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th one came and I adopted that one, but I just had 1. I didn't think that it was gonna be like one after another. Like, I don't think I thought about that. But anyways, she had her baby number 7. I took Gianni in again. I was there when he was born. I picked him up from the hospital. And Jaden and Dnasia was just like staring at this beautiful baby. Oh my God, Gianni had these blue eyes. It was insane. Well, took him in. Again, it took a year to adopt him. And let me see. Then my sister had her child number 8, Samyah. Okay, let me tell you. Yes, I took my 1 and 2 without hesitation. But for my 3 and 4, I always said no. Throughout her whole pregnancy, I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not taking another one. Da, 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 da. You know, but once they were in the hospital, I couldn't. My heart did not allow me to have that child or any of my sister's kids be born and be left in a hospital alone. Because mind you, my sister gives birth. She leaves, and she leaves kicking and screaming every single time. Trust me, I know, I've been there. And the baby stays there. So, no, I'm gonna be there. I'm your family. I'm your blood. I'm gonna be there for you. You know, I'm not gonna let you be there by yourself. It's just, that's just so sad. Like, I can't. So for my sister's number 8, the whole time she was pregnant, no, I'm not gonna, no, someone else better step in because I'm done, da, 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 da. And I was there when Samyah was born. Was I there when Samyah was born? That's a question. I can't remember if I was there when Samyah was born or not. I want to say I was, but I'm not sure. Anyways, I took her in. I took Samyah in. And I think I decided at like last minute, like again, once she was born. Because you kind of can't do much until the child is born. Like there's no DCF case file on that child until that child is born. Like DCF can know that she's pregnant because they see her up and down, or that someone called them and told them, but there's no file. They can't do anything until that child is born. So of course I step in and I take that baby girl home. Dark black hair, blue eyes. And it's crazy because their eyes are like green now. So they have definitely changed colors. And I took her in. And let me tell you, it was like a lot because I had all these babies and I'm taking in a newborn, you know. But again, my heart wouldn't let me just leave that child there and be taken by a stranger or like someone else. You know, I already have their siblings. At that point, I knew deep inside that I had made it a goal, or I had set my life up to take in any kids my sister had. I knew I was going to take them in just to keep them together, just so that they won't be separated, you know, and be lost in the system. So while I have these 4 kids, my sister's last 4 kids, we still have communication with 2 of the other ones, 2 out of the other 4 that were also taken away. But the first 2, is a closed adoption. But let me tell you, I'm not a crazy person. It's a closed adoption, yeah, but listen, my personality, I'm like a little FBI agent. I will find out anything and everything I want to find out. So basically, I found out like where they are, who they're with, and I kind of kept tabs on them for a little bit through social media. Because let me tell you, I'm not at any mean necessary dangerous to these kids, you know, like I will never pop up, I will never send anything or nothing like that. No, like I will never do that. No. As far as finding out information and keeping tabs, yes, I'm gonna do that. They're my nieces and nephews. I'm gonna do that. And I have their siblings. So I finally got the courage to reach out to their mom, adopted mom, their mom, and kind of let her know, like, look, I'm here. I have your kids, because I was very respectful, your kids' siblings. Basically, I reached out. And if you guys want So basically this is my story, guys, on, you know, my kids' adoption story. Why did I decide to take in my sister's 4 kids? Why did I decide to foster? Why did I decide to adopt? I decided to take in my sister's kids because I've been in the system, okay? Because I come from a broken home and I know how it is to have no one there. You know what I mean? Because I was in the system before my sister was even having kids, I wanted to foster. I wanted to give back by fostering and taking other kids. You know, changing someone's life, impacting their life in any means necessary, any kind of way. I feel like I was put in this world for that. To touch someone's life, to change someone's life, to make, you know, to make a difference. I genuinely feel like that is my purpose. And that's why I worked in the medical field as a CNA and PCT, you know, taking care of the elderly, the disabled, putting a smile on their face. That's why I want to foster, because I want to change a kid's life. They have no family. They have no mom. You know what? I'll be your mom. We will create our own family. You know, like, that's just the kind of person I am. So it just so happened to be with my own family, which is even better. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for supporting me. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Leave me any comments. Any questions you guys may have, ask me. I'm an open book. I'm very transparent. Obviously, you guys see I love to talk. So I will talk about just about anything. I hope you guys have an amazing day. God bless you. Stay positive. This world, this life right now, let me tell you, it even gets me down sometimes. But let's not talk about that. So just stay positive and stay blessed, guys. Bye.